I'm designing a backyard to become a plant collector's tropical getaway. My backyard is being zoned to not only include my greenhouse and potting station, but a balcony lounge and a kitchen garden as well now. Come tour the space with me and see what I've done so far. If you missed the introduction to this series, that's the potting station series, I'll be sure to link it in the description for y'all below. In that episode, I don't think I revealed this space to y'all. This is my outdoor balcony, soon to become my balcony lounge that overlooks the greenhouse as well as the intended potting station area, and what's soon to become my kitchen garden right here. My goal is to create a plant collector's tropical paradise where I could use my arrays that I've been collecting over the years to style the space and really just create a relaxing vibe outside. I want to show you all what I've completed since the last episode and what I've started. I actually have some new plans in tow. As you start these projects, ideas just start coming, and you guys in the community have been so supportive, just sharing your ideas as well. And, it's just been sparking a lot more transformation in the back here than I expected, and I am loving it, and I know you guys will too. I take y'all shopping in this episode as well for outdoor furniture, and I get a bit of plant chores in as well. All in all, I'm going to show you all how this space has been functioning so far with the bits that I've completed, so let's get to it. If you missed the greenhouse series, I'll be sure to link that in the description as well so you can see how I went from bare dirt to this today. Right now, I want to take you all through some maintenance in here, which involves sweeping, clearing leaves, reorganizing some of the plants, and making the entire pathway much easier to walk through and a lot cleaner. My number one task on this to do list is to get rid of all of this moss that's building up on the bottom of this greenhouse. There's also some black mold that is hazardous to health. I need to get all of this cleaned up today and hopefully come up with a prevention plan so that this does not happen again. Now that I know with this type of a system that's a polycarbonate greenhouse, this could become an issue for me. I'm definitely going to be more proactive with this and stay on top of it as best as I could. What's required at this point is to move all my plants that's on the ground floor to gain access to the entire floor to be able to clean it properly and house them in here, which was my plant room, if you all remember back in the day, and just get things sparkling clean all over again. So I cleared out the plant room, assessing the space to make sure that the plants could fit because I wouldn't want anything to get burnt being out of the greenhouse. And I'm going to start moving my Gloriosum and like I always say in these videos, there's never a dull moment. I have two toads buried and living in my Gloriosum pot. So I am going to need some help. I knew I had some tenants in here when I saw these large holes. Here's another hole in my philodendron SP Columbia, so I'm glad we got to the root of that and I'm getting rid of those toads. As soon as I started moving the trough, they hopped out, so it was smooth sailing after that. I want to give you all a clearer idea of this space that, really needs a deep clean. It's covered in moss and mold. There's also debris, old leaves, spilt soil from the burrowing toads. And it's just filthy. So I want to move all of these pots out and extract all of the plants that are tucked away there. Those were actually plant rescues that are coming back. And as we continue to move pots out, some more visitors appeared. If you want to see what has been popping up in the garden frequently, be sure to check out this video that I'll link for you guys below. But like I said, there's never a dull moment here. So after I cleared my plants out and secured them in this storage room, my hired helper arrived. Well, I thought they were secure. We had some gusty winds and it toppled this one over. This is my Epipremnum Cebu Blue, but everything else fit nicely in here. And once they're done cleaning out, I will start the rearranging process. But pretty much the entire job was done in an hour, and I'm just going to fast track you guys through that. They used a dilution of Clorox and detergent, and they just scrubbed away and power washed what they could. And this was the end results. They took out all the plants from underneath there as well and just handed them to me, and I made sure I secured those as well. While the greenhouse was getting detoxed, I removed all the pots and vases from the balcony and brought it downstairs. and decided to just arrange it on the shelving unit until I get some additional storage in the potting station area. I made sure to organize them upside down or place them upside down so water doesn't collect in any and encourage mosquito breeding. But I moved all the unnecessary things out of the balcony, and I also started rearranging my entryway to my home. And I pulled out some plants that needed rescuing, but I left my large climbing ma- marble queen pothos. If you're familiar with my plant shows videos, then you'd be familiar with this space. It has transformed a lot, and I'm so excited to be styling with my plants and not just storing them anymore. So once you guys were done in here, I started moving the largest plants in. This was also a plant rescue. My Monstera deliciosa is coming back. And I put back in my seedling shelf. That's that on the left and the larger one. So I'm just going to start rearranging in here. And the plan for the future is to not let this buildup happen, so intensely. I want to stay on top of that. So maybe a quarterly cleaning is what I'd recommend. If you guys have any tips for me to just prevent that moss buildup, feel free to drop it in the comments. But this is it all rearranged, and pretty much all is well again. It was such a relief to have this done and not be fearful of mold growing or just, having the place just look unkept. So I was happy to do a bit of rearranging too. And I actually removed some plants from inside the greenhouse that really, really outgrew the space. And I'm trying to acclimate them to living outside of the greenhouse and in another space that I'm hoping to style soon and use as living space as well. I just want to give you all some more planty views so that you can have an appreciation for the variety of plants that I collect, just in case you have styled these in your home already and can share some tips maybe. But the goal for having a greenhouse for me anyway is to be able to rehabilitate my plants because my plan is to use them indoors and well outdoor as well to style a space and really create that tropical paradise that I want. So that's the reason I got a greenhouse to be able to grow my plants optimally to style with them later on. In this area, just opposite the greenhouse, I have to figure out how I'm going to style the space and basically conceal all these AC units. I'm considering using outdoor screens. So I've put these plants here to sort of acclimate. They do get a good amount of shade, so I don't think they would fare poorly. So I'm going to start with testing these plants out in this space here, which sits just below my balcony. I'd love to know what you would do here if you were me. And here's where things get exciting. Well, for me anyway, the future potting station. If you saw the first episode of this series, you already know how chaotic this space was. No structure, no organization, barely any space to work. The plan is to have their service this entire area. I've done some initial cleanup here, just enough to get a clearer view of what I want to build in general to service this entire space that's within view. The goal is to create a dedicated working zone for repotting, soil mixing, plant care, you name it, and filming my plant shows, of course. Over the next few episodes, you'll see this area transform piece by piece. And now I want to give you all an update on the landscaping and a bit on the kitchen garden itself. The Italian cypress that I planted alongside my driveway has been progressing nicely. You would have seen this in the early days of my channel. And I want to show you all what I planted in my little designated kitchen garden. Well, I don't know if it's truly 100% a kitchen garden because I did add some additional Italian cypress just to continue with the landscaping along the edge of the mountain. But let's start with mixing some soil and showing you guys exactly what I did because the soil here is very clayey. So I got this bag of soil from PriceMart. I'll be sure to link it in the description for you all. And what I decided to do was try some sheep manure that I got from Motor Life. Don't forget, I have a shop along tour with me coming up later in this video. And that's when I got this manure. And what I'm doing is I'm mixing this half and half. So I'm using regular soil with sheep manure. I got some help from a friend who's done this before, and I don't think I mentioned as yet, but the manure that I'm using is treated and odorless. It is safe to handle, so I was happy about that. And the key thing is to make sure you evenly mix it into your medium, your potting medium. Well, in this case, my growing medium, which was that standard outdoor potting mix from PriceMart. So once it was thoroughly mixed, I got some holes dug each 1 foot deep. And I will show you all some plants that I use this exact same method for in the past, and they have been thriving. That is my variegated bamboo that I've used as a hedge while I'm trying to create a hedge along the property, and they have been progressing really, really well as the Italian cypress, which is supposed to be a difficult grow from what I heard. So the plants that I'll be adding includes a couple extra Italian cypress, just as an extension of the driveway, and then this lemon tree, followed by an avocado tree that I grew from seed, and another lemon tree that you'll see coming up on the left. And then I covered it over with whatever was the topsoil we removed in the first place. And that's it for this space. The next thing I want to do is add a raised bed to grow veggies. This is the design for the raised bed. I'm hoping to have this done by January, and I'll keep you guys posted in a future video. This is a final overview of the area I'm designating as my kitchen garden. If you have any ideas, feel free to comment below. Let's go shopping next and get some more ideas and inspo for this piece. This is Mode Alive, so while cleaning and organizing everything, I also went furniture shopping to get ideas for the balcony and greenhouse lounge area. I'm leaning towards pieces that are durable, weather friendly, and cozy. Something that fits a plant collector's lifestyle. Think neutral tones, wood textures, and lots of soft cushions. Side note, during the shop along, I'm going to feature the prices as best as I can, but I'm going to just play some background music for y'all to just browse along with me. I'm just butting in here for my international viewers. Remember, I live in Trinidad. If you're new here, that's in the Caribbean. I'll throw up a map for you guys to see exactly where that is. But the pricing that you're seeing here is quoted in TT dollars. Also, this is the first time I'm doing landscaping or outdoor gardening, and I've never purchased soil per se or amendments from Mood Alive. I've never even explored this area, so I was happy to see such a wide variety or selection of potting materials and amendments. They also carry leca, which was again another first time seeing. For me, it was a pretty large bag, and you all know if you've been here for a while that I love growing in semi hydro, so that was a great find for me. They also stocked this anthurium mix that seems to have wood chips in it. I'm not sure what exactly the ingredients are in that. If you've used it before, I would love to know. And there were a bunch of other amendments on this side as well. So the only things I walked away with that day were these cushions. They were 78 TT each. They are outdoor cushions, UV resistant, fairly water resistant. So I was happy to find these colors because I had this set of chairs from PriceMart that I bought about 10 years ago or something, but they are going strong. So I just got these as a quick fix for now. I liked the color combination as well as the pattern. I found it was quite fun and nice and outdoorsy looking. I also like the fact that the pattern runs to the front and the back. They were different from each other. The print was a mixed print, so it wasn't like matchy matchy. I liked that, it was playful in that way. They both just tie to the back like this to be fastened. So in this windy part of the home, I was happy that I could secure them with those tie backs. And before we wrap up, here's a quick look at the landscaping progress so far. As mentioned before, my Italian cypress are progressing nicely, and that gave me the confidence to continue the landscaping methodology that I've been applying to the space so far, and why I went ahead and developed this area further using the same methodology, even though I planted fruiting trees in addition to those today. This clip is just a throwback to show you all what we put in the ground. This is the first set of fruiting trees that I put in the ground, and I actually want to highlight my variegated bamboo. I used the same methodology about a year ago. I'm going to show you all a throwback as well for when I first planted these bamboo plants in the ground, including the ones on the western side of the property. These have really, really exponentially grown. There's still a ton of work ahead, but that's part of the fun. You're seeing the entire journey from the real before state all the way to the final reveal. Thanks for joining me for this update. If you're enjoying this series, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe so you don't miss the next chapter of this backyard transformation.